Okay, girls, today we are going to start with this topic we are going to discuss, that is the range of vegetative structure in Bacillariophysceae. Now, Bacillariophysceae, they are also known as the diatoms. So, the life cycle of diatoms, it's there in your syllabus. You are going to study with Miss. I don't know whether you have finished that topic or not, but the life cycle of diatom you will study in detail with me. So here we are only going to see at the different vegetative structures which are present in diatoms. Okay, Bacillariophyceae. Now the Bacillariophyta, commonly known as the diatoms, they are ubiquitous algae of both fresh as well as salt water and also of damp places, okay, including aerial habitats as well as rocky cliffs, then bark of trees, then damp soils. Okay, all these places you can find these type of algae, diatoms. Okay, so even in the, not only in the in water, but in as well as in aerial habitats you can find in damp places. And some of these Bacillariophyta algae, they are submerged in water, growing attached to various substratums. Okay, to various substrata, like suppose they can grow in other aquatic algae which are present in the aquatic habitat, or any other submerged objects. Okay, they are growing submerged in water on by attaching to the substrat to various substrata such as the aquatic algae or any other submerged objects such as the stones, the woods, the any other submerged objects. And these diatoms, they play a very important role, okay, particularly in the aquatic vegetation of the world, forming an important part of the plankton, which is the basic food of aquatic fauna. Now, coming to the this structures, the various structures of diatoms. Diatoms, they have been named the jewels of the plant world. Okay, why? Because of their diverse forms, and not only their diverse forms, but also very delicately designed wall markings. Okay, being the objects of great beauty. So here in this figure, you see these are some of the diatoms. You can see only here also you can see they are of various forms. Some are in the form of a triangle, some are in the form of a rod, in form of a plate, circle. Okay, some are elongated, some are like disc, some are like wedges. So because of their diverse form, and also you can see in their body, let me show you here, you can see there are these markings in their body. Okay, so different markings in their vegetative structure. So they are delicately designed wall markings on these algae, you can see. That is why they are named as the jewels of the plant world. And they are of innumerable shapes. Some are like a boat, like you can see, like this one here, it's like a boat shape. And some are like rods, some are elongated, some are disc like, and some are like wedges, etc. Okay, so many forms. I will show you one more picture here. You can see this also is very beautiful. This is also a diatom, and it looks like somewhat like a star, and you can see the color also is very beautiful. That is why they are known as the jewels and of the plant world. And you can see in this picture here, these are the various form of diatoms. You can see they are of different forms. This one, then this one here, these so many diatoms here. Okay, this is not a single diatom, all right. I'm just showing you here these various forms, like this one and then this one. So many forms. You see this one just like a small star, this one is elongated, this one is star shaped. So many different varieties of forms we have, they these diatoms. And okay, now after you are now after seeing this diagram here, now you understand that why they are known as, why they are referred to as the jewels of the plant world. Okay, and so coming to the cell structure, again the cell structure you will study in detail when you study the life cycle with Miss. She will explain the life cycle of diatoms. Now uh, this I'll just show you this diagram here. All these diatom cell, although they may be of different shapes and forms, but talking about a single cell of diatom, okay, suppose this one here, this figure C, it is a single cell of diatom, all right. It is known as frustule, okay, frustule. So it is known as frustule, and as you can see, it is composed of two overlapping halves. You can see this is the first half on top, this is the first half below. So it consists of two overlapping halves, or also known as the valves. And these two valves, they are nicely fitted one upon the other. Okay, you can see they are fit they are fitted upon the one upon the other, like a pair of petri dish. You must have seen the petri dish in lab where we used to culture various microorganism, various things. Those petri dish which we have in lab, we have one below and one on top, the lid. Okay, so these are like petri dish, one below and one on top, just like a lid which cover the one which is below. So here the place where they are attached, okay, in both sides, this is referred to as the girdle, girdle. You can see here it is the girdle. Okay, so the place where these two valves are attached is known as the girdle. And the first half, okay, this one on top here, this one on top is known as the epithecia, and the one below epitheca, and the one below is known as the hypotheca. So this is the structure of a single cell diatoms. But coming to the structure, the different vegetative structure, you see that these single cells, actually they may be arise in colonies, just like when we study chlorophyceae. Remember, some are single cell, some they form, these single cell they form colonies inside a gelatinous matrix, and some they are arranged in uniseriate rows like this one. Okay, one on top of the other, they are arranged in uniseriate rows, meaning in a single row. And some they are branched, just like this one, this figure A here, you can see it's like a flower. So these are branched. But all the unicellular, okay, the single cell diatom, although they are arranged, they are branched, okay, filamentous or branch, but all these single cell, they are independent of each other. Okay, so they evolve, they reproduce independently. So here, just remember that the cell structure, it is composed of two valves. Okay, and the structure, the diatom cell, is known as the frustule and is composed of the two overlapping valves. So this figure C here, whole thing here, it is the common for all diatoms. Okay, it is common. Now it is known as the frustule, and these overlapping valves, they are nicely fitted one upon the other, and the pair where they are this portion where they are attached is known as the girdle, and the first half here, the upper half, is known as the epithecia, the lower half, the inner one, is known as the hypotheca, and the edges of the two halves, they are more or less in curve here, forming a girdle. Okay, now when one or the other half is seen, just like in this figure C, this is known as the valve view. Okay, when you can see the valve, it is known as a valve view. But suppose if you view in this side, okay, where you can see the girdle, where the girdle is visible, then it is known as a girdle view. Okay, so there is a valve view when you can see the valve, and girdle view where you can see the girdle. Now the diatom, these walls of diatom, okay, the walls of the diatom, all the diatoms, it is composed of a pectic substance. Now what is pectin? It is a polysaccharide. Okay, it is a polysaccharide, that means which is made up of carbohydrate. It is one of the carbohydrate polysaccharide substances. Now this polysaccharide substances is impregnated with silica. Okay, just remember that this pectic substances is impregnated with silica in the walls of these diatoms. So this siliceous material, okay, that is this pectic substance which is impregnated with silica is deposited to form different patterns. So you can see here the in the wall of this second, the figure B here, you can see the wall is different, the patterns, and in the first figure the pattern is different. So this siliceous material which is deposited to form different patterns which vary according to the genus as well as the species. So that is why they are of different forms. You can see here also in the figure A, the pattern is different. Here the pattern is different. Here also the pattern is different. So it is this siliceous material which is deposited to form different patterns which vary according to these different species and different genus. So these are the different structures of the diatoms. Okay, you can see here also many different varieties